Ever wonder how much impact social media has on your life? Allow us to take you on a journey into the heart of an enigma we call the social media paradox. On one hand, social media is a brilliant tool connecting us to friends, family, and the world at large. It's become an irreplaceable part of our daily lives, a platform where we share our joys, voice our concerns, and engage with diverse ideas. But like a coin with two sides, there's a darker aspect to this digital landscape, a hidden thorn in the lush garden of online interaction, if you will. As we navigate these virtual spaces, we often find ourselves grappling with feelings of insecurity and anxiety. Consider this. Studies showed that a staggering 80% of us experience the fear of missing out, or FOMO, as it's popularly known. This isn't just about missing out on events or experiences, but also about not being as successful, as happy, or as fulfilled as others appear to be on their social media profiles. At times, social media feels like an endless highlight reel of others' lives, where every frame showcases their perfect vacations, their promotions, their picture-perfect relationships. And in the face of these constant curated displays of perfection, it's easy to feel like we're falling behind, like we're not enough. This is the paradox of social media. A tool that was designed to bring us closer to others can sometimes make us feel more distant from our own sense of self-worth. A platform that's meant to express our individuality can sometimes make us feel lost in comparison. It's a world that simultaneously connects us and isolates us, empowers us and undermines us. And the scale of this issue is immense. With over 3 billion people using social media worldwide, this paradox isn't just a personal challenge, it's a societal one. Now consider how often you compare yourself to others on social media. Meet John Doe, a regular social media user like many of us. John is an everyday hero, dealing with the usual ups and downs of life. He wakes up with the chirping of birds, has a cup of strong coffee to kickstart his day, and then jumps headfirst into the world of social media. Every morning, as he sips on his coffee, he scrolls through his feed, a seemingly endless stream of picture-perfect moments. Pictures of friends vacationing in exotic locations, colleagues achieving professional milestones, influencers showcasing their flawless lifestyles. All while he's still in his pajamas. John's day doesn't seem so bright anymore. He begins to feel an overwhelming sense of inadequacy. His life, in comparison, seems lackluster, even mundane. He wonders why he's not vacationing in Bali or running a successful startup, why his meals are not Instagram-worthy, and why his life doesn't seem as exciting as those he sees online. This constant comparison becomes a part of his daily routine. It's like a high-speed train that he can't seem to get off, and it's steering him straight towards a wall of anxiety and depression. He starts to question his choices, feeling the pressure to keep up with the Joneses. Or, in this case, the influencers and friends on his feed. He struggles to remember that these are carefully curated highlights, not the full reality. John's self-esteem takes a hit. He starts to feel less confident, less worthy. It's a cycle of self-doubt and self-criticism that becomes harder and harder to break. He begins to avoid social gatherings, feeling that his life doesn't measure up. His work suffers, his relationships strain, and he feels increasingly isolated in a world that's more connected than ever. But what John doesn't realize is that he's not alone. Millions of people around the world are experiencing the same feelings, the same insecurities. They too are caught in this web of comparison, feeling inadequate when juxtaposed against the seemingly perfect lives they see on their screens. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlpool of comparison and forget that life isn't a competition. Everyone has their own pace, their own journey. What we see online is a mere fraction of reality, often filtered and edited to look more appealing. It's important to remember that it's okay to not have it all together all the time. It's okay to be a work in progress. John's story is a stark reminder of the effects of this social media paradox. It's a wake-up call to all of us to be mindful of the impact of our online activities on our mental health. John's story is not unique. Many of us might see ourselves in his shoes. Let's remember that behind every perfect post is an imperfect human, just like us. Let's strive to embrace our own journey, our own pace, and our own uniqueness. After all, comparison is the thief of joy. Why do we fall into this comparison trap? It's a question that many of us ask ourselves as we scroll through endless feeds of seemingly perfect lives on social media. We're human after all, And comparison is a part of our nature, but why do we do it? Especially when it often leaves us feeling inadequate, anxious, or even depressed. Well, one reason is that social media platforms are perfectly designed to encourage comparison. They're like digital stages where we all perform for an audience, curating and presenting the best parts of our lives. This is what we call the highlight reel effect. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you seen a picture-perfect family vacation, a flawless selfie, or an exotic dish that someone just whipped up? These are not random snapshots of everyday life. These are highlights, the very best moments, carefully selected and often meticulously edited to create an impression of perfection. And here's the thing, it's easy to forget that behind these perfect snapshots is a reality that's much more complex. For every breathtaking sunset, there's a sunburn or a mosquito bite. For every gourmet meal, there's a pile of dirty dishes. For every picture-perfect family, there's an argument or a messy house that didn't make it to the feed. We often compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. This is not a fair comparison, and it's not a healthy one either. It can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and even depression. So how can we avoid falling into this comparison trap? Well, the first step is awareness. Understanding the concept of the highlight reel and recognizing that what we see on social media is not a complete or accurate representation of reality can help us keep things in perspective. Remember, what you see on social media is not always the full picture. So the next time you find yourself comparing your life to someone else's online, take a step back and remind yourself you're only seeing the highlights. How can we navigate these feelings of insecurity and comparison? A question that surely rests on the tip of our tongues, especially in an era where our lives are intertwined with the digital world. The good news, there are strategies to help you deal with the sneaky thief that is social media comparison. Let's delve into a few of these. Firstly, practicing gratitude is a potent antidote. Make it a habit to acknowledge the good in your life. This can be as simple as jotting down 3 things you're grateful for each day. This practice helps shift your focus from what others have to what you have. Secondly, set boundaries around your social media usage. Consider limiting the time you spend scrolling through feeds, or perhaps designate certain hours of the day as social media free time. Remember, the less you expose yourself to these platforms, the less likely you are to fall into the comparison trap. Another effective strategy is focusing on self-improvement rather than comparison. Use the time and energy you typically spend comparing yourself to others on honing your skills, learning something new, or pursuing a hobby you love. This not only boosts your self-confidence, but also adds more value to your life. That being said, it's crucial to remember that it's okay to seek professional help if your feelings of insecurity become overwhelming. There's no shame in reaching out to therapists, counselors, or mental health professionals. They are equipped with the right tools and expertise to guide you through this journey. In this age of online comparison, it's easy to lose sight of who we really are. We often forget that our worth is not determined by the number of likes, shares, or followers we have. It's not about the picture-perfect moments we manage to capture and share, but rather the authentic, unfiltered experiences that truly define our lives. As we wrap up this conversation, here's a gentle reminder. You are more than your social media profile. Don't let online comparisons steal your joy. After all, the most significant comparison you should ever make is between who you are now and who you aspire to be. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, let's revisit our key points. We've embarked on a journey today exploring the paradoxical nature of social media, a tool that connects us to the world, yet often leaves us feeling more isolated and insecure than ever before. We've delved into the story of John Doe, an everyday individual just like you and me, battling the silent war of comparison and self-doubt that social media often instigates. We've identified the sneaky comparison trap and learned how it can twist our perception of reality, creating a sense of inadequacy. But most importantly, we've discovered strategies to navigate these feelings of insecurity in the age of online comparison. We've learned that it's okay not to have it all, to not be perfect, and to accept ourselves for who we are, flaws and all. Next time you're on social media, remember John Doe's story. Don't fall into the comparison trap. You are enough just as you are.